All right, let's just get one thing straight right from the get-go. This is not going to be another one of those sweet, feel-good motivation talks. Nope. Think of this more like a dose of bitter medicine, the kind of harsh truth that's actually needed to cure what's holding you back.
Seriously, does it ever feel like somebody just hit the fast forward button on life after 2020? I mean, really think about it. The pandemic felt like this huge long pause, right? But ever since then, it's like 2021, 22, 23, 24. They've all just kind of blurred into one long hallway. It feels like we blinked, and poof, half a decade just vanished. We keep saying we want to do things, we plan to start something, but before you know it, another year's in the rearview mirror.
So I'm going to be super clear here. We are not here for comforting, feel-good quotes. We're here to face some hard realities. If you've got the guts to hear the truth about why you feel stuck, then you're in the right place. This is the dose of poison that's actually going to kill the disease of mediocrity.
Okay, first things first, it's time for a serious reality check. We have to take a hard look, really look, at the life we've somehow just accepted as normal. Because maybe the most important question you can ask yourself is, are you really, truly living?
Let's try a bit of an uncomfortable comparison here. On one side, you've got someone living with the absolute bare minimum. And on the other, what a lot of us would call a normal life. You've got a roof over your head, basic food, a phone, and you stress about small expenses. Now, here's the jarring point. When you really boil it down, is your normal all that different from a basic hand-to-mouth existence? Or have we just settled for a slightly more comfortable version of just surviving? And you know that nagging feeling of emptiness? The one that creeps in during the quiet moments when the phone's down and the TV's off? That's not just you being bored. That is your mind literally screaming at you that this whole situation is not right. This low-level, just getting by thing we're doing, this is not your normal. You were built for so much more.
So, if this life isn't what we really want, why are we still here? Well, the hard truth is, we've built our own prison. It's a prison of fear. And to figure out how to escape it, we first got to take a look at a real one, Alcatraz. So Alcatraz was the stuff of legends, right? They called it the Rock, America's most secure, supposedly inescapable prison. It's sitting on an island surrounded by freezing, brutal water, with guards watching constantly, and the official story was simple. Nobody ever got out of there alive. It was the very definition of impossible. But here's the part that will blow your mind. Just look at the risk versus the reward. If you tried to escape and you failed, what was the big punishment? A couple of days in a dark isolation cell. You'd lose your library card and music privileges for a little while. That's it. Now, compare that tiny bit of discomfort to the prize for succeeding, a lifetime of actual freedom. So why didn't every single person in there try to make a break for it?
And this right here is the whole point. For most of those prisoners, the fear of a few days of discomfort was way more powerful than the promise of an entire life of freedom. And that is exactly how our minds work too. We stay put in our comfy, unfulfilling little prisons because we're terrified of the small, temporary pain that comes with trying to break out.
So what is it? What keeps us so paralyzed? What are we so incredibly afraid of losing? Well, there's this amazing metaphor that just explains it perfectly. It's called the monkey trap. The story is super simple. A hunter puts some peanuts into a jar. The opening is just big enough for a monkey's open hand to slide in. So the monkey comes along, reaches in, grabs a big fistful of peanuts. But now its clenched fist is too big to pull back out. It's trapped. And all it has to do to be free is just let go of the peanuts. But it won't. It wants that cheap prize more than it wants its own freedom. And so it gets caught. Now you're probably thinking, wow, what a dumb monkey. But here's the bitter truth. We are that monkey. We just have a different set of peanuts that we refuse to let go of.
Done.
So that story, that's how we live our lives. We are exactly like that man, just mindlessly throwing our days away like they're worthless pebbles. We're not actually living in the moment. We're just running on habits. Some studies suggest that up to 95% of what we do every single day is just pure autopilot. The same routines, same thoughts, same reactions. We are literally unconscious for most of our own lives. So what are our peanuts today? Oh, they're the endless notifications lighting up our phones. They're the infinite scroll of reels and stories. It's the celebrity gossip, the drama in the group chat, the frantic need to binge watch whatever new series just dropped. These are the cheap, worthless prizes we're clenching our fists around. And we're so terrified of missing out on them, we don't realize that holding on is what's costing us our freedom. Think of your brain's working memory like the RAM on your computer. There's only so much of it. And when it's constantly filled up with all this digital junk, all these low-value peanuts, there is literally no processing power left for the big stuff. There's no space for your goals, for your creative ideas, or for the actions that could actually change your life. Okay, so that's the diagnosis. We're trapped by fear and we're addicted to distractions. So how in the world do we break out? Well, it all starts with one absolutely crucial step: waking up and choosing to live consciously. There's this fantastic story about it. A man is told he has to find one single magic pebble on a beach, and the only way to know it's the one is that it will feel warm to the touch. So, to be efficient, he gets into this rhythm. Pick up a pebble, feel if it's cold, toss it in the sea. Pick up, feel, toss. He does this for months, so fast that it just becomes this mindless habit. And then one day, he picks up a pebble, feels its warmth, and his autopilot is so strong he tosses it into the sea before he even realizes what he's just done. So here's the thing you have to get. Where's the past? It's just a memory. It only exists in your mind. And the future? It's just an idea, a projection, also in your mind. Neither one is real. The only thing that is actually real, the only place where life is actually happening, is right here, right now, in the present. Today, this is the only shot you've got to change anything. All right, so we've diagnosed the problem and we've talked about the mindset shift we need, but what do we actually do? This last part, the most important part, is all about the practical solution, the magic of action. Let's go back to Alcatraz for a second. Remember how I said no one had escaped? Well, that wasn't exactly true. A few guys, led by a man named Frank Morris, actually did the impossible. So how'd they do it? It wasn't some huge grand plan. They used spoons. Yeah, spoons. Every single day, for just a few minutes, they'd chip away at the concrete around the ventilation grill in their cells. They hid the hole with a fake grill made of cardboard. They sculpted dummy heads out of soap and toilet paper to fool the guards at night. Just small, consistent, almost invisible actions that over 6 months added up to an impossible escape. This is exactly how action solves our 3 biggest problems. First, confusion. You know that feeling of, I don't know what to do? Just do something. Anything. Action creates data, and data gives you clarity. Second, inconsistency. Stop thinking about building the entire Great Wall. Just focus on laying one single brick perfectly today. And third, that feeling of having no motivation, well, that's the biggest myth of all. See, we've got the whole formula completely backward. We sit around waiting to feel motivated so that we can take action. But the truth is, action comes first. You take one tiny step. That step creates a little bit of progress, which then creates a little spark of motivation. That motivation then fuels more action, and suddenly you've got this incredible, powerful feedback loop going. You don't find motivation, you create it with action. So after all this, it really just comes down to one simple, powerful question. Forget about escaping the entire prison tomorrow. Forget about building the whole wall next week. The only thing that matters is right now. What is the one small, simple, maybe even insignificant seeming brick that you are going to lay today? Because that one brick, that's how you start building your freedom.